And now to meet our first challenger, about whom there is an area of identification that requires that my friends on the panel be blindfolded. Will our first challenger come in and sign in, please? Right here, if you will, please, sir. Please. Join me in our panel. Needless to say, that's about all the information you're going to get. I would like to ask our guest if he's familiar with our scoring system. Are you, sir?
Somewhat. I've watched one of the shows with interest.
Well, good. I think then the scoring system is known to you, and we'll let the folks at home and our friends here know exactly what your line is. One bit of information. Under our categories, we would describe our first challenger as self-employed, and let's begin general questioning with Miss Arlene Francis.
Are we blindfolded because one or some of us might know you personally?
I'm afraid I couldn't hear.
Do you feel that the panel is blindfolded because one or more of them might know you personally?
No.
I would say this, if our guest is willing. I'm pretty sure that some on the panel would know you by general reputation and may have met you privately in the nature of their work or in some other social activity, so that we'll give you a qualified yes on that, Miss Francis.
All right, I'd be glad to take it. Is there some kind of a product connected with what you do, sir?
Is there some kind of a product connected with what you do? Not in our terms of reference, if I may answer that. That's 1 down and 9 to go. Mr. Winchell.
Do we have to establish our guest's occupation or who our guest is?
Well, actually, both, but if you would get one or the other, we would consider it adequate.
I see. So would I. Well, tell me, do you work for a profit-making organization?
That one, Paul, you, I think, would rule out yourself on the basis that it's been announced he's self-employed.
Oh, yes.
Presumption there is that there should be a profit somewhere.
Listen, you don't have to take this double talk from Daly.
Right. Well, then you perform a service. Is this service for both men and women?
Well, at least I think so.
Do these people come to you?
They must. I have never gone to them.
Why not?
Now, that cannot be answered yes or no,
Oh,
Mr.
I see.
Winchell.
Well, do these people come to you more than one at a time or two at a time, say in a group, for example?
Frequently 2 at a time.
Frequently 2 at a time. Well, is what you do, would it have anything to do with law in any way?
Unfortunately, yes.
No, I think, sir, that while there may be some relationship in some aspects of your work with law, they would be incidental to our basic line of questioning. So we'll give a no on that, make it 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Sir, you have a very impressive speaking voice. Does your voice play any part in the work you do?
You have a very impressive speaking voice. Does your voice play any part in the work you do?
I don't imagine it does.
No, I think a no would be right there. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Lawford.
Are you involved at all in philanthropic work, even though you are self-employed?
Are you? Well, actually, I would say this. Beg pardon, sir?
Goes out and comes not back.
Oh, don't worry about that. Actually, we do have a little acoustical problem in here sometimes.
We do have.
Because of the vast reaches up above us.
Never mind, we'll overcome it.
We'll overcome it. I would say this. With your permission, sir, I will answer Mr. Lawford's question because it has a technical aspect with reference to the terms that we use on the program. We would presume, and very properly so, Peter, that there is a philanthropic relationship outside of the basic endeavor of our guest, as there would be with almost all of us.
Thank you. This service that you perform, sir, do you use your hands?
This service you perform, do you use your hands?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I'm having it. Do you paint, sir?
Yes.
Well, now, wait a minute. This, here again. I think this, again, gets outside of the basic area that we seek an answer to. Our guest does paint, but this, I would have to ask him, is not necessary, is it, sir, to your basic occupation?
I would strenuously deny that I was a painter.
So on that line, we'll give you a no. We may plead a 4 down and 6 to go. Miss Francis.
Was I correct in hearing the audience applaud when our guest said that he could do something about the acoustical work?
No, actually, I think our audience applauded because he refused to let our acoustical problems in here defeat him.
Oh,
or in
I
any
just
way
wondered
upset
if
him.
he was the gentleman that could correct them. That's what I misunderstood. Are you in industry, sir?
Now, how would you frame, I mean, what term of reference are you in industry?
Well, like, are you an industrialist? Do you build cars, or do you build machinery, or do you build houses, or do you anything industrial? I think that's what industrial is. I've been out of the racket for so long.
Oh, I have a weenie.
You have? May we have a conference for Dorothy's weenie before it gets out of hand?
You have a what?
She has a weenie, and I don't want you to feel any offense, Paul.
All right, 10 seconds for a conference.
Well, Arlene, I think you're connected with something that Peter made me think of. He didn't deny that he painted, but could it be that he's in something related, such as design or architecture, such as Frank Lloyd Wright?
Well, could it? I guess it is.
Something related to painting, like design or architecture, like Frank Lloyd Wright. I think, Miss Dorothy, much has been revealed by the applause of the audience, and it would be very unfair to all of you to keep you in doubt any longer. Our guest is indeed Frank Lloyd Wright. Who, needless to say, stands in the world's ranks of architects as among the very greatest of our day. Mr. Wright, I should know these things because I know that as long as there is the ability in you to do it, you'll be designing and building. Have you built anything recently, or are you active now in some new designs?
Did you say active? I'm in harness. Just built a tower on the western prairies, the Price Tower. I wish you could see it. I'm quite pleased with it.
I'd like to see it.
For the Price Company. I wish we had a photograph of it here. I'd like the panel to see it. Make sure they haven't wasted their guest time.
Oh, this I'm sure they haven't. I wish we had a photograph, too, but we had enough time keeping you hidden without having to hide photographs, too, from this panel of ours, you know?
Well, it seemed easy to disguise my presence here, didn't it?
Well, we had a little trouble. We had to lock them upstairs on the other side and wouldn't let them through the door, and we had a couple of fights with them, but we managed to do it. And we would give you, sir, our thanks for joining us. It's wonderful to have
Thank you.
a person of your great distinction with us.
Such an extraordinarily intelligent crowd.
Would you say hello?